Good evening, everybody. Here is Storm here, bringing you another gaming news video. And I hope everybody had a good weekend. And I'm sorry I couldn't get this video sooner. A lot of stuff have been going on, and I've been very busy lately. So because of that, I'm going to have to combine the gaming news that happened the week before and this week. So this could be a somewhat pretty long video depending. So like always, we're going to go through the small news, then we're going to go into the big news. Without further ado, here we go. The first set of news we have, Blumhouse Games announced a new game division for Blumhouse, a major player in horror. You probably seen Blumhouse. They make like those horror movies. I think one of them was like, I believe they did Blair Witch. They were behind Blair Witch and Don't Breathe or something. Like when you see like Insidious, I believe there also was done by Blumhouse. I could be wrong, but yeah, they when it comes to movies, they're more into the horror genre. But apparently, they have a gaming division and is coming out with a new game. They're coming out with a new game. It said past movies includes Megan, Paranormal Activity, and Get Out. There we go. Will make original horror themed games for console, PC, and mobile. The budget is $10 million and below projects. So, for me, I'm not really a big fan when it comes to horror in general, but those are, I hope they do well for those families because we're getting a lot of horror games lately. Like, we just got Dead Space Remake, Resident Evil. Can you really? Yeah, I think you could kind of count Resident Evil 4 as horror, action horror. We got Resident Evil 4. Silent Hill 2 remake is coming. Would Alan Wake 2 be horror? But anyway, yeah, a lot of horror games are coming out, and yeah. It's kind of funny when it comes to horror games. I don't think I ever saw a horror game release around Halloween. It's kind of funny to think about. And on to our next set news. PlayStation had a state of play for the first state of play for the year 2023. Overall, I gave the show a 5. It wasn't the best, but let's just say I hope they do better next time. Because honestly, the games that they announced could low-key have been a tweet. But I said before the event came, the state of play came out, always keep your expectation checked. So that's why I wasn't too disappointed of what they said, or what they showed off, because they always give you a heads up like, hey, this is what we're gonna show at this state of play. So if you were expecting anything crazy, mind blowing, yeah, that's kind of your fault. There was one thing I probably thought they would have done, would have been like a surprise for the ending, because last year's state of play they had like a Japanese third-party focused state of play, and at the end of it, how they closed it off, they showed off God of War Ragnarok trailer with the release date. So I would kind of think like, hey, you never know, they might do that for Spider-Man. So I guess that was the only thing I was expecting from that state of play, honestly. Alright. The state of play that they showed off was one of the big showcases for that state of play was the 15-minute gameplay of the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Me personally, I was never really looking forward to the game. Not because of what the game is, it's just I don't care for the Suicide Squad characters in general. Like Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, King Shark, and Deadshot. Like, they're cool characters. Me personally, I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing Harley Quinn in almost everything. But yeah, I never give too. I never really care for the Suicide Squad characters in general. But the other games that they showed off was uh, a character announcement trailer for Street Fighter 6. We're getting Cammy, Zangief, and we're also getting, what's her name? Lily. There we go. Uh, the internet went crazy when they saw the new look for Cammy. Justifiable. We got a new trailer for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Trailer for Destiny 2 Lightfall. The announcement Tichia launches on March 21st, and it's also going to be day one on the PlayStation Plus. They announced, crazy enough, they announced the games that are going to be on the PlayStation Plus March games, which are out right now by the time of this recording. The games for March are Battlefield 2042, Code Vein, and we also have Minecraft Dungeon. But coming to game catalog is Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, which have Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy. We got Ghostwire Tokyo, Tichia, which is the new game that's coming out in March this year. I believe it's the 21st. It's gonna be day one on the PlayStation Plus tier. Rainbow Six Extraction, and we got Immortal Phoenix Rising. So kudos. A lot of good games. A whole bunch of them I don't have, so I'm gonna grab those as soon as they become available. Alright. On to our next one is Capcom have came out to say Resident Evil 4 Remake Resident Evil 4 Remake, the PlayStation VR 2 mode will be released as a free DLC. No date has been set for it yet, but it's cool that it's free DLC. And speaking of PlayStation VR 2, a lot of good things are coming out about it. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get mine yet. Like I said, a lot of stuff been coming up, but I'm still planning on getting it. Alright. Okay, the amount of people I saw playing it, it makes me really want to play Gran Turismo. And I don't really like racing similar games, but how people have been playing and some stuff I've seen, it makes me really want to try it. Alright. On to our next bit of news. We have been receiving some info for the next Star Wars game, which is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And we got some new details for it. The new details are a vast open world plus linear areas. I kind of hate whoever did this, who made this statement. Breath of the Wild style puzzle and shrines. Like come on. Like, literally, I keep hearing when people give reviews, they always have to throw in Breath of the Wild. Exploration feels more rewarding. That's good. Bigger variety of cosmetic jackets. For example, jackets and haircuts, which is also good because in Jedi Fallen Order, literally most of the different customization clothes are just him wearing ponchos. Exit map design, fast travel markers for unexplored areas, which is also good because sometimes you could get lost in the game. Alright. Here we got some other news. This comes from the Ukrainian government has said will urge Sony and Microsoft and Valve to pull Tomahawk from sale in the country over the game's links to Russia. As you may not know, there's still high tensions that's still going on with the Ukraine and Russia, and And it would be weird that sales come out for Atomic Heart, which is a Russian story game that's in the Ukraine. I can see them that's looking a little bit crazy. Well, hopefully that's get sorted out. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the next DLC story, have been added, and it's called Chaos of the World Tournament. And by the looks of it, it will include basically the ending of the Dragon Ball series when Goku got older and when he fought Piccolo. The screenshots will be going up right now. And you can see this is the screenshots for the DLC. Definitely take place at the final moment of the Dragon Ball series when Goku first fought Piccolo at the World Tournament after his big old time in the Hollow Time Chamber that increased his age. Well, yeah, increased his age. So yeah, I'm gonna probably try out the DLC. Like, it was a really good fight when that series came out. Alright, moving on. We're getting news that the boss of Ori developer Moon Studios has claimed its next game could make or break the company. Either we manage to revolutionize the ARPG genre, or we slowly fade away into the distance. And this is very surprising to hear because I heard nothing but good things about the Ori series. Like, I think it's called Ori Will-O-Wisp and Ori. I can't remember what was the other game name, but so far they've been only on the Xbox platform and PC. And I think they got brought to the Switch. I believe the first one got brought to the Switch. I don't know if the sequel is on the Switch. But either way, I'm kind of surprised to hear that they're in this type of situation that the company could literally shut down. And I'm more surprised that Microsoft haven't bought them. Like, you would think they would, in my opinion. But hopefully nothing happened to this studios, because especially day and age, like big publishers are acquiring studios and stuff. So we gonna need these indie studio. We're gonna need more indie studios as much as we can, because if more studios get bought up by big publishers, like, yeah, I don't think that would be good for the gaming market, in my opinion. Alright, the next one is there had been a release of Dead Island 2 gameplay. I believe it's like 15 minutes worth of it. And for what I could tell what people said, they really enjoyed it. My buddy of mine, who's a big fan of the Dead Island series, he's a fan to the zombie genre in general. But yeah, he's been waiting for this game for a while, so he told me the gameplay is better than he expected, and that kind of speaks good news for the series, because this thing been in dormant for how long. So hopefully the long wait for this game is what the gamers get in the end. Alright, our next one is Mortal Kombat 12 has been announced and is releasing this year. According to a WB conference call, somebody in the call was talking about upcoming projects and games that were coming, and he name dropped Mortal Kombat 12, and he said it was releasing this year. Ed Boon, who's the person who's the director for the Mortal Kombat game, he was not too happy about this, because I believe I read somewhere that when he said when it comes to when it's time for him to announce Mortal Kombat 12. He wanted to be a big surprise and stuff. So he he just been waiting for the perfect moment to announce it. But now that it's got announced at this conference call, he's like, somebody literally dropped the ball, and honestly, somebody is most likely getting fired because come on now, especially if the dude was gonna surprise everybody with that announcement. Most likely, it was gonna be at E3 or Summer Game Fest. You dropped the ball. Like, damn. It is so key unfortunate, but yeah, we got the confirmation Mortal Kombat 12 is coming out this year. But going back to our previous news we talked about, going back to the state of play, it was reported that Sony was supposed to announce and launch 2 live service games by March 2023, but that didn't happen. The 2 games are MLB or Destiny 2 related. It is more than likely both games got delayed to 2024. And the person who reported this does not mean the year 2024, more like their fiscal year reports, like their financial reports. Says he said he believes is going to announce it then. So I guess we'll see what happens next month. I believe those reports. All right. Let's see. Do I have any small news before we get into the big ones? Right. We do not. Alright, now we're going to move on to the big news. Our first set of big news we have is apparently there was talks to... Basically, it was talks, and Microsoft almost had Resident Evil 4 exclusive to their platform. The statement reads, Microsoft learned that Capcom was looking for a new partner, so they set up a Christmas Day meeting in the year 2000. What should have been a Merry Christmas for the Xbox team was instead a major disappointment. Mikami had doubts about the Xbox hardware, which was still in development at the time. He also wanted to know about Microsoft Vision, so he posed this question. What's your philosophy? Sony says games are entertainment, something larger, fueled by the emotion engine. Nintendo says games are toys created by the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto, perhaps the greatest game developer of all time. What do you feel? Microsoft Japanese team reportedly had no good answer to this question, so Mikami left the meeting and possibly of Resident Evil 4 with him. Microsoft Kevin Backus laminated this failure as he believed he could have convinced Mikami he saw Xbox as enabling games to become art, much like films. Unfortunately for Microsoft, he was too late at getting this message to Mikami. Microsoft's loss was Nintendo's gain, at least for the little while. After a brief stint as a GameCube exclusive, Resident Evil 4 quickly made its way to the PlayStation 2, and Capcom hasn't stopped porting ever since. You can learn a lot more about the development of Resident Evil 4 by watching the latest episode of Do You Know Gaming. Going off by that, it looks like they could have had... Well, I don't know if they could have had it exclusive, but they could have had first dibs for the original Resident Evil 4. And they didn't had the right answer for him at the time. So it's unfortunate. I believe Resident Evil 4 is on Xbox, but it's just unfortunate that the OG Xbox One could have been a big hit before it went to Nintendo, then eventually the PS2. And that's unfortunate indeed. The next bit of news that I have is an Elden Ring. From Software announced an Elden Ring DLC. The name of the DLC is called Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree Tree. No date have been announced. They just have the name of the DLC. It's more than likely it's gonna come out either holiday this year or next year, or because right now I'm assuming From Software is most likely putting focus to their to the next Armor Core game. But if they do have enough people to make multiple teams, so more than likely this probably gonna come. We'll probably get like a gameplay of the DLC, probably a trailer around E3, and probably the release of it will probably be holiday this year or early next year. I'm willing to bet, depending how much content this DLC will have. Alright, on to our next one. Our next one comes from Luminous Productions. The statement reads, "You may have heard that news that Luminous Productions is merging with Square Enix beginning on May 1st. Our talent team will join Square Enix to deliver new, innovative gaming experiences to players across the globe. Between now and then, we remain entirely focused on Forspoken. We are currently working on the previously announced patch to address overall game performance. We will deliver an update soon, and the DLC, The Tanta We Trust, is on track to release this summer. Thank you again for your patience and support. When we established Luminous Productions in 2018, our vision was to make AAA games that fuse technology and artistry to deliver a completely new play experience. Having the chance to do just that has been a dream come true. We appreciate you taking this journey with us and look forward to continuing to create new entertainment and experience as part of the Square Enix family. Sincerely, the Luminous Production team." Alright. I have seen people say this is most likely happening because Forspoken flop. Me personally, I don't think that's the case. For what I saw, when it comes to the NPD sales, Forspoken was averaging in the number 7 spot, if I remember right. And honestly, we don't know the true reason why Luminous Production is merging back with Square Enix. I think it's just stupid. Some people believe that the game, they said the game flopped. That's the reason why. Like, we honestly don't know. Of course, you could probably say, like, of course they're not going to say their game flopped and stuff. But I honestly don't know. It could be any reason why this is the case. I saw some people say, like, maybe they're trying to merge Luminous Production into the Square Enix to probably to help them financially and stuff. So Luminous Production is not doing, like, is not try to do their work all by themselves. They're gonna have help from Square Enix themselves. And I saw some people say this could be maybe they're in the talks of somebody buying Square Enix, so thus having Luminous Production with them, it would make the buy for Square Enix more feasible. Because if that was the case, Square Enix would have sold, they would, well, technically Luminous Production, if it was by itself without Square Enix, I doubt Square Enix would have been able to sell them. But at this point, we just gotta wait and see what happens. Like, I seen people say they enjoy Forspoken. Some of the stuff that was said by reviewers was blown by proportion by people saying and stuff. And that is, I kind of do agree, because when I saw some of the dialogue, people were complaining about, oh, the dialogue is cringy, or to that extent. And I think the complaint about the dialogue was completely blown out of proportion, in my opinion. Alright. On to our next bit of news. It is Telltale had made a statement about Wolf Among Us 2 is being delayed outside of 2023. A lot of statements are popping up for gaming news. Anyway, the Telltale have said we made a difficult decision to delay The Wolf Among Us 2 out of 2023. We know it's frustrating to hear. We started work on this in 2020, and we're still determined to tell the ongoing story of Big B and the rest of the Fabletown gang. However, it is going to require more time. As disappointed as you are hearing this, we feel worse having to say it. But the work continues. We are committed to delivering the sequel fans deserve and doing what's right for the game while protecting the health of our team. We appreciate your patience and understanding, the Telltale team. And people understand that, especially if they would start working in 2020 when that was that was during the pandemic and stuff. So I'm not surprised the pandemic probably did set them back a lot more than they was hoping for. So yeah, hopefully they use this time accordingly to get the game as people hope it would be, and I think this delay will help it. So yeah, now I think, man, I don't even think it had a definitive release date for this year. I think it just had the 2023 release. But I don't think we ever saw insert date here in 2023. At least I don't recall. Alright. Let's continue on, shall we? Our next one is the director for going back to Star Wars a little bit. The director for the Star Wars Jedi Survivor, he wants Cal's saga to be a trilogy. I think that's cool if Cal's story does get a trilogy, especially his story is canon to the overall Star Wars story. I guess it depends how do Jedi Survivor ends. We'll see if it would justify a third game, but we just gotta wait and see on that. And I believe it comes out. When do Jedi Survivor come out? I think it comes out next month. Actually, yeah, I think it comes out April 28th. So we got more time until it comes out. I definitely am looking forward to this game. I'm hoping it does. I hope it goes beyond what Fallen Order have done. Alright. Our next set of news is Capcom having a Capcom Spotlight. Yeah, Capcom Spotlight is basically going to be a digital event that's going to happen on March 9th on Thursday, where Capcom going to talk about 5 future games that are coming. They're going to be talking about Resident Evil 4, Mega Man, Battle Network Legacy Collection, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, and Exoprimal. I'm gonna try my best to take a look at that because I want to see the new content for when Sunbreaker come out, and I am looking forward to Mega Man Battle Network Legacy. Alright, on to our next sad news is Atlas Fallen has a release date. Atlas Fallen is being developed by the studio Deck 13 Interactive with the publisher Focus Entertainment. It came out with a release date for May 16, and it's for $60, and it's only going to be on the current gen console, so no PS4 or Xbox One. You just saw the new screenshots that was posted on the PlayStation Store, and yeah, this came out of nowhere. But Focus Entertainment have tweeted did say that the gameplay for the game is coming out sometime later. So we just got to wait and see. More than likely it's going to be at some type of event, E3 most likely, Summer Games Week. Either any event that could possibly happen from now going into the summer. Uh, I am intrigued by this game. I just need to see how the gameplay looks. If I do like what I see from the gameplay, it's a day one buy. Honestly, it's a day one buy. The game does have co-op. It could go up to 2 players and stuff. So who knows? There's a side chance I might do a whole playthrough with a buddy of mine on it. It depends. It depends. All right, moving on. The next bit of news. All right, the next bit of news is basically a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, this past week, Square Enix and Division Unit 3 had a global tour event of having the press play a demo for Final Fantasy 16, and they were able to talk about what they played and what they showed. And they actually showed off 3 different gameplay segments from the game that took place around 5 hours into the game. And this is a lot of news, so bear with me, and we're going to cover them now as I post the new images that we have for Final Fantasy 16. Alright, this will be a lot of info, and at the end we will talk about them. The first set info from the press release was the press got to play the demo in 3 parts. Number 1 was a combat tutorial as Teen Clive. Number 2 was infiltrating a castle at night with adult Clive, with AI companions of Sid and Torgal, and the third one was an icon battle with Ifrit versus Garuda. Yoshida has confirmed that there will be an extra hard mode in the game once you complete the story. The buffs will be no leveling up weapons, no getting stronger, and also extremely difficult, which is something like what Final Fantasy VII Remake did when you play the game on hard mode. You was not allowed to use your items, so no potions, Phoenix Downs, none of that. You couldn't use any of those, which made the game even more challenging. Next is, according to Yoshida, there are a lot of Easter eggs and references in the previous mainline titles in Final Fantasy 16. Some of them can already be found in the demo, like Benekita asking Clive, what are you, similar to Thornton in Final Fantasy 14. And also, another thing they said was there was no you couldn't change the difficulty of the game. Basically, there was like no easy, normal, or hard mode. What he said was there were items that you could equip to yourself to make the game easy for you. But the thing is, if you do equip an item, it would take up a equipment slot for yourself. So like, they have this thing that they have a ring of time manipulation. Basically what it does, it will slow the game down to give you a better chance to counter or dodge an enemy attack. So if you have that ring on and you want to put like a certain equipment on yourself that will kind of make yourself stronger, you will most likely will have to remove it. So I think that's a pretty interesting idea for people. Not flat out putting like a normal easy mode. You have to rely on the equipment that you had on yourself and basically your skills. So I think that's good for it. I think that'd be good for everybody that wants to play casually or wants to go for hard. Next one is Yoshida was asked on the decision on making the game an action game, which this is a big old argument in the community about, because people who traditionally played Final Fantasy back in the day, they were into the whole turn-based strategy style. But of course, lately Square Enix have been shifting from turn-based to full-fledged action. My thing on that is apparently Final Fantasy have not been traditional turn based for a very long time. So it's kind of weird people are complaining about it now. In my opinion, because I looked it up and the last traditional turn based Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy X. And that came out what, like 10, 10 plus years ago? No. It came out, Final Fantasy X, I think it came out in 2007, so 10 plus years ago. So it's like, I don't know. I don't get involved with that because, in my opinion, it's just stupid arguments. Alright. But back to what Yoshida said on his decision to make Final Fantasy 16 a action game. He said he wants to show the world and future developers that creating a Final Fantasy with a full-time action can also work. Wants to allow even non-action players to experience the story. Isn't meant to be as challenging as DMC. And that's another thing. People calling it Devil May Cry skin. I'm just like, I'm going to play the game. It's one of my most anticipated games for 2020. Well, as of right now, it is my most anticipated game for 2023. So, people that have been complaining, I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. Let's see. Well, let's see if they will keep. Let's see if they will keep that energy when this game launched. The people that have been complaining about it, we'll see if they like. I'm not gonna buy this game. So, well, we'll see. Also, there's some other interesting takeaway. This comes from Gematsu from his interview with Yoshida. Apparently, it was said there will be an enterprise of some sorts in the game. Don't know what could that be, honestly. There is an ancient civilization called the Fallen that existed in the past, which I believe one of the trailers shows like an early civilization did live in this world and stuff, but something happened that caused them to collapse. Combat has a low floor, but also a very high ceiling. For what I saw from the previews, like the game definitely have like a whole bunch of combat and stuff. The only thing I would want from the preview is the damage, the number damage when you're playing the game. I want to know. I don't mind them being on screen personally. I'm just wondering, can you make them smaller? Like, just decrease the size of the fonts on the number modifier as they appear as you're attacking. Okay, I think for what I saw for the preview, because granted, what we saw from the preview does not mean it's the final version of the game. So I'm just hoping somebody will mention that, or they already added like, oh, you could turn it off or decrease the size of it. Alright. The next one is SID organization. SID is one of the AI companions that joins you on your quest. He is the dominant for Rama. And apparently, it said his organization is called Hideaway, which is also serves as a game's hub area, which is pretty cool in my opinion. There is an arcade mode that lets you replay stages and score in the global leaderboards, which I think that's pretty cool for another thing for replayability. They also did say the game will have New Game Plus, I believe. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go for the plat. And there is another special mode that locks you to a certain ability that you must clear to earn special items. I think that's pretty cool. People to test their skills and stuff, because like I can already see there are more than likely they will people be speed running the game and stuff. So the fact they are certain things like, oh, for example, one of the challenge is you can't use let's say you cannot use any Titan abilities. So you have to fight without using Titan. Or something like, oh, you can't use your items. Or for all we know, the part is you cannot do like air combos and stuff. So I think that's pretty cool to keep the gameplay fresh and people to challenge themselves. All right. Another thing that was said from the press said there is a fidelity and performance mode, which means there is a 30 FPS at a 60 FPS confirmed for Final Fantasy 16. The main story will be 35 hours, but if you're trying to complete everything, which is the main story and side quests, that will be 70 to 80 hours completion. It was also said that the cinematic cutscene will be 11 plus hours. I saw some people were upset about that because if the main story is 35 hours, subtract that with 11 with just cutscene, that would make the game 24 hours to complete, which is, in my opinion, I was kind of confused why people could play them, because you really think that's pretty average for games these days, especially ones that are not open world. So, and plus, like with side quests making it 70 to 80 hours, like, and knowing Yoshi P, these side quests will have like their like a little bit of lore into the world itself. So, yeah, a lot of people will probably go through all the side quests because side quests does have hidden stuff in them. There will be it will be a semi open world, which is good in my opinion, because they have said this before, because if they would do an open world, the development will take even longer than it would. And semi open world, that's like similar to like how God of War did it and some other games. Seamless transitions from gameplay to cutscenes. During the gameplay from the press release, we did see those. Unfortunately, I did not want to show them just out of fear of getting copyright striked. And they also plan to do a public demo 2 weeks before launch. I'm trying to decide if I want. I definitely will be tempted to play it, but it's like it comes out 2 weeks before the game launch. Do I want to be surprised by everything, or play the demos just so I could get a feel of the gameplay? Because I can already tell when they do the public demo for us to try out, it's not gonna be this. It's more than likely it won't be the same demo what the press got to play. So we just have to wait and see how that turn out. But Yoshi P actually did a little bit more clarify on the public demo. He said the content of the demo has not been finalized yet because they want to get the feedback from the media tour first before they decide. So we're still we're in the third. It comes out less than 4 months, so we just gotta wait and see what kind of feedback that the press gives to them for the game. They also said the next major news drop for Final Fantasy 16 will be in April, and that will focus on side quests, shops, hunts, and crafting, which I'm all good. And in an interview from Well Played, they were asked what inspired the development for Final Fantasy 16. Yoshida said uh, Aesop Game of Thrones or The Dark Knight. Hiroshi Takai said Game of Thrones and God of War. And Ryota Suzuki said John Wick and Blade. So they were inspired by these different medias for Final Fantasy 16. Yoshida goes into more details why he was inspired by The Dark Knight for Final Fantasy 16. He said he's a big fan of the movie. He enjoys the relationship between Batman Light and the Joker Dark, and how one can't exist without the other. That type of thing can also be seen in Final Fantasy 16, which I like that very much. And that's all the info that came out for Final Fantasy 16. There were a couple more stuff, but they were not really important in general. They were just asking like general questions, like I believe somebody asked, would there be like relationships at 16? And Yoshi P actually said they're not good with that type of thing, but they did say there are like relationships when it comes to like brotherly love, bonds, and all that. Like not like romance relationship, like the main protagonist and like a significant other, but like you could clearly see there will be like brotherly love type of relationship in the game, bonds and all that jazz. So, and that probably was not the type of question the person who asked was looking for, but it is what it is. All right. Now we gotta end off this news with a big old announcement that happened. I honestly want to say yesterday, and this came out as a surprise. It was at a Dragon Ball event. I forgot what the name of the event was, but it basically the event was like by the looks of it like a Dragon Ball Z tournament and stuff. And during the moment when they was doing the commercial break, the announcer announced something big that was coming to the something big that was coming that was Dragon Ball Z related and the fans would truly love. And he showed off a teaser trailer for Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi was coming back. And when it comes to the Dragon Ball Z Budokai, I always been a fan. I played all of them from Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1 all the way up to Tenkaichi 3. And it brought me such joy that it was finally coming back. Granted, we don't know to what extent because they did do that Ultimate Tenkaichi that was not a traditional Budokai Tenkaichi game. So until we see gameplay of it, I'm hoping that it's going to go back to how Tenkaichi 3 and the old ones play, because the teaser started off showing gameplay from Tenkaichi 3, so it looks like it is, especially now it's going to go up to, we saw Goku Super Saiyan Blue transformation in it. So we don't know how far it's going to be, especially now that we got like DLCs and stuff. So when it comes to the roster, we're probably going to get the traditional characters that we unlocked in the game and probably like movies and other characters. That's probably going to be DLC. That's how I see it, honestly. Because since they said the game is now in development, so more than likely we won't see this for a while. Most likely next year at best. Alright, so we're gonna wrap up this video by showing off the teaser trailer for Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 4. Man, I cannot wait to see the gameplay, the roster of the game. Because my favorite portion when it came to Tenkaichi 3 is just replaying the Dragon Ball Z stories and stuff from Dragon Ball all the way up to GT, even though it's not really canon. But I'm hoping they do keep. That, like, letting you just replaying the fights from the Dragon Ball Z history and stuff, and just add the Dragon Ball Super story, Wrath of the Gods, the Broly, even the latest one that has Gohan and Piccolo new transformation and stuff. I'm hoping they add all that in it, especially now that you see that the graphics of the game have drastically changed. So I'm curious how Goku transforms to Super Saiyan Blue like that. I wonder will all the transformations will have an animation like that. Like Tenkaichi 3 did have like transformation animations like that. Raging Blast, Dragon Ball Z Raging Blasted. Like, for example, when you see like Frieza going through the transformation, you actually see the body change. So I'm curious if the people who's doing this Tenkaichi is gonna use what Raging Blast did for this game. So hopefully we hear more soon and stuff. I'm gonna stay optimistic that we'll probably see some from E3 or Summer Game Fest. I'm gonna remain optimistic about that. Alright. But there's the video for the news roundup for the week prior and this week. I hope you guys had a good weekend, had a good Monday. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.